In 2015, Dr. Rodriguez, he pushed things even further, performing the most extensive face transplant ever attempted. Patrick Hardison was a volunteer firefighter from Mississippi.
You were a volunteer fireman.
Greatest job in the world.
Well, you don't get paid for it, right?
Well, you do what you love.
In 2001, he ran into a burning building to rescue a woman that was trapped inside. Suddenly, the burning roof collapsed directly onto Patrick's head.
Roof collapsed on Patrick, knocking down his helmet. He felt the mask on his face was melting.
Patrick held his breath. He jumped out of a window with his melting face mask clinging to his face. It claimed his scalp, his nose, his lips, his ears, his eyelids, and all of the skin on his face.
I remember everything, from getting in the ambulance to the helicopter. I don't remember much after that.
He was burned so badly that his fellow firefighters, they couldn't even tell who it was.
I had no idea who I had until we put him in the ambulance and he pulled me down over his face and he said, "Take care of Chrissy and the kids." That's when I knew who I had. I mean, it was a rotten damn day.
You had said in an interview, you'd do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, and I hate that I can't do it now.
This burning roof literally collapses on your head. It destroyed your eyelids, your lips, your ears, your nose.
I could still talk. I mean, I could still communicate. I never thought it was as bad as what it was. Even when my friends came up there, they would be all upset, and I was like, "Man, just chill out, I got this." I never thought it was that bad.
When you looked in the mirror, what is that?
Well, I didn't actually see myself until probably November. I got injured in September, probably November of that year. They had cut a little pinhole in one of my eyelids because they had everything covered with skin grafts. I looked in the mirror and all I could do was, I said, "This is it. I can't do this." So.
What do you mean you can't do this?
Well, you have those thoughts. I got kids. It was just a tough time. I never got a day off from the injury. When you walk out in public, it was daily. And just so, there's no way to explain everything.
This injury follows you wherever you are.
Right, you never get a day off. I mean, it doesn't matter. You go to the ball field, you got to prepare yourself for the kid that's going to run off screaming. It's just, it was just like.
How painful is that? That's got to be painful.
You never know.
And you living with this for 14 years.
I went to my eye doctor and he told me, he said, "Pat, basically we've done all we can do." He said, I can't rebuild eyelids, I can't make them blink right. And a good friend of mine had told me, he said, well, he was driven me up to the doctor that day. We were headed home and he said, "I want to look into a possibility of a face transplant." He got home and he Googled face transplant in the United States, and it showed up Dr. Rodriguez in Baltimore when he had done one earlier. And he emailed them, and the next day they called, and it was just like, just God's timing, just everything is lined up as it should.
Okay, open your mouth for me. Okay, just relax and feel your lips here.
Even after 71 surgeries and skin grafts from his legs, for 14 years, Patrick lived with what doctors described as pinhole vision. A mass of scar tissue was all that was left. His eyelids, his lips, ears, nose completely destroyed.
We've been evaluating Patrick in New York at NYU. The goal is to replace the entire face, the ears, the scalp, get rid of all the portions of the face that were burned in the fire and make him look normal.
With Dr. Rodriguez on board, Patrick finally had hope, but they still needed to find a donor.
They've done a lot for me. They're working hard every day, trying to get this transplant done, so hopefully it's not much longer. Get up every morning, you think, it's the day of the day, and then just the next day the same way. It's just, that's how it is. So hopefully it'll happen soon. It's in God's hands, so it'll happen when he's ready for it to happen. I know he's got an angel out there for me somewhere, and he's gonna call it home one day, and hopefully when that day comes, that family is strong, because I cannot imagine losing somebody at a young age and then having to be asked to give what they're asking to give.
Now, finally, the call came. There was a match.
You have to tell them, this may not work. You may not survive this.
And most people know that I'm a very clear, straightforward shooter. And I tell them, this operation could kill you.
I hate to use this phrase because it's so silly and cliche, but you were willing to be the guinea pig. You were willing to risk your life. But you also knew that this would advance medical science.
I never had any doubts. I mean, from day one, I've told Dr. Rodriguez, whatever it takes, let's get it done.
He's a gentleman who has 5 children. And I need him to understand that this operation could kill you, and you can leave your children without their father.
Was there any hesitancy?
No hesitation. On the morning of the operation, with our entire team ready to go, I asked him once again, Joe, Patrick, are you sure you want to do this? I will call off the whole thing right now. I do not want you to feel bad about this. On all instances, no hesitation. I need this. Let's move forward.
Great attitude. Is that idea killing you?
Well, that's all right. What you gotta do?
What does that feel like for you? You're also in this game. You're not in medicine to lose lives. You're in medicine to save lives. And that's a lot of pressure. What does that feel like?
There's no question. You know, everybody's got a lot to lose in all of this. And I feel ultimately responsible if something bad happens, of which things could happen that are out of control. But there is that potential glory. If we can achieve this, I think about the number of individuals that we can potentially help.
Finish the game.
We're ready to play. All right? How you feeling? I'm going to take good care of you, okay?
After 14 years of waiting, that moment had now arrived. Dr. Rodriguez and his massive medical team, they were about to attempt the most complex face transplant ever performed in history, a procedure that would last more than 26 hours.